And with that being said, it's now my pleasure to introduce our first speaker to the ContentCon Europe stage. He is the global sales strategy leader who's passionate about helping brands navigate digital transformation and deliver first-class content experiences. Please join me in welcoming Contentstack's SVP of Global Sales, Ramon Weterings.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have the clicker?
The clicker's there.
Oh, the clicker's there. So. Yeah. Woo! Well, it's amazing to be here. And on behalf of the Contentstack team, I want to thank everybody by showing up. So that's the first tick in the box. So thank you very much. Let me give a brief introduction. I joined Contentstack like 3.5 years ago to build out Europe. And we're going to talk a little bit about how far we've come on that journey. But most importantly, we are going to talk about the future. And when we talk about the future, we're not going to talk about the future. We're going to see the future. Because in our industry, everybody is saying AI, everybody is saying transformational, everybody is saying automations. And we already saw that in that amazing video. You can do the, let's say, the buzzword bingo if you are being bored. I'll promise you, you will not be bored. But if you want to do the bingo, yes, we have all the buzzwords coming up today in all the presentations. But what is super excited for me, and being Dutch, I saw the stuff product was working on, and typically I will say, if they show me something, oh, it's okay, or that's nice. I typically don't use words like, I'm excited, or this is awesome, or this is great, but I'm becoming a believer. So I'm changing my vocabulary, and I hope that by the end of the day, you will inject some of those typical American words in our European vocabulary. So, but first, let's go back on that journey for Europe. And I was super happy to see a lot of familiar faces yesterday. A lot of customers showed up at our welcome drink, and that was amazing to see. When I started 3.5 years ago, we had 50, 60 customers in Europe, and we continue to grow. And this year we are seeing an amazing growth of like 70%. And we've also built out our team. So all our customer success managers are here, our sellers are here, product is here. We also opened up our legal entity for Contentstack Europe in Amsterdam last year. So we really see the momentum, and we don't see that only by adding additional customers, we also see that by an expanding partner landscape. A couple of years ago, the choice was limited. Now you have a vast majority of partners to choose from, and that partner bases continue to grow, and a lot of partners are here also today. You are here. I spoke to a lot of you yesterday, and we also discussed, let's say, last year's ContentCon, which was in a tent, and when John did the demo, we had a power outage because we needed to, the food trucks needed to put on the fryers. So we've changed locations. We needed to see all of you, and it's amazing to see that rise. And I'm so thankful of the customers that are here again speaking, participating in the roundtables. And yeah, I really think we're going to have an amazing day. Before we go to the next speaker, I want to really thank our sponsors. So you probably already saw that when you came in on the Partner Expo, but we can't do this without our sponsors. So during the breaks, during lunch, please go to the Partner Expo, talk to them, because it's a journey we're on all together, and they can really take you to the next level. With that, I'm super proud to welcome to the stage Neha, our founder and CEO. Thank you.
Good morning, London. Yes. How is everybody? Good. The energy's starting to pump up. We usually like to start with a little bit of dancing, if you've been to one of these before. I want to say welcome to ContentCon, and thank you all for making the trip, and thank you for those of you that are tuning in online. I know it's been a rough time to get around London, so for those of you that took the chance and got on the tube or grabbed an Uber, thank you for making it. This is our second ContentCon Europe. So we're super proud to be a part of this with all of you and to share a lot of exciting things. I want to start by just recapping how busy we've been for the last couple of years. We've accomplished a ton, and I think sometimes a lot of what we do gets lost in the noise, just given that there's so much going on all the time. So just to bring you up to speed, if you're an existing customer, a prospect, or a partner, I just want to recap some of the top highlights over the last 18 months or so. First, we released Brand Kit, which semantically stores your content in vector space to take full advantage of AI. That means if you're generating content, it stays on brand and stays brand aware, which is super important. We launched Visual Builder, which leaped us forward into being a visual-first digital experience platform. We are the only DXP in the market that runs on all three major cloud providers. That's AWS, GCP, and Azure. We responded to hundreds of customer requests over the last few years to deliver against all of the things that you've been asking for. We launched Personalize about a year ago. And most recently, we made a major acquisition by bringing Lytics on board into the Contentstack world, introducing Contentstack data and insights, which allowed us to bring real-time personalization at scale to all of you. So we have been extremely busy, and I just wanted to make sure you had the opportunity to capture all of that. But that's not all. If you haven't noticed yet, we also did a major redesign and launched our new logo. So this came out just this week. We really wanted to leap forward into this new digital era with all of you, and it felt like the right moment for us to take our brand forward in doing so. So as you're walking around, as you're grabbing Ubers, as you're exploring the space around us, do take note of the new visual identity that we've brought out, and check out contentstack.com. We made sure that we were running Contentstack on Contentstack, which was an important initiative for us. And we believe that the world's best brands should run on Contentstack, and that should also include us. So congratulations to the team that brought this to life. Very exciting for us. We are not slowing down, and I imagine that neither are you. We're in this world where change is happening to us constantly, and we're continuously trying to adapt. Something new comes out, there's a new headline, there's now MCP, and that was cool 2 weeks ago, but what's cool today, who knows? So I want to talk about change. And some of us have talked about this over the last day and a half or so. Those that were at the event yesterday evening, change management was a big topic. Those of you that were able to attend Partner Day, we talked about change management. It feels like a bit of a transformation is happening to all of us. We're all stuck in the middle of this, and yet it's hard. So imagine that you're standing at the edge of this vast canyon, and behind you is all this stuff that you know really well. The investments you've made in the past, the team that you've worked with, the solid ground that you're used to. But what's ahead of you, what you can see in sight, is the future. And the future brings you exciting new things, new types of ways of connecting. But how do you get there? There's this invisible bridge that you might have to build as you go. And that's really scary. It takes courage. It's not just challenging from a technology perspective, it's emotionally challenging. And we're all in the middle of that. Transformation means working without all of the answers. It's about moving forward even when you can't necessarily see the next step. And some people freeze at the edge. Others rally together, support each other, and figure out how to take that next step. And I think it's important to note that you're not alone. We at Contentstack are going through a lot of transformation. I think all of the people in this room, you're here today for a reason. You're here to learn. We're all going through change together, and it's okay that change is hard. So at Contentstack, we've created what we call the customer maturity model as a part of our Change Makers program. And we'll share a little bit more about that at the roundtables this afternoon, but I'm going to try to introduce it to the best of my ability. It's a model that takes a look at 3 different dimensions. It's technology, it's processes, but most importantly, it's people, the human side of change management. As we're going through change, it's not just about making a technology decision, getting through procurement, all of those types of things. It's also, how do you bring people along for the journey? How do you make it worth it? How do we elevate people's careers and make sure that everyone has the opportunity to do the best work of their career? That's partially our responsibility. So let's talk about the human progress. It starts with change feeling risky. You're cautious, people hesitate. And then it moves to this idea of like, oh, that's why we're doing this. And that fear turns into curiosity. And then people start to lean in. They start to ask questions. They get engaged. That eventually takes you to this ownership mindset. I want to be a part of this. I want to bring other people along for the journey. And you become committed. And then you leap into the magic where you get energized by it. You start to feel the momentum. People drive innovation, and that's when people start to get promoted at work, and they get energized, and they start to see the value of all the hard work in making the change happen. That's where we get excited, and we're trying to help our customers and our brands to go through that evolution. So people is how real change happens, but of course technology and process also play an important role. So the second part of the framework is looking at what's the evolution from a technology and process standpoint. It starts with emerge. It's experimenting and like starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with, okay, this is different than how I used to do it, but I'm going to try new tools. I'm going to test new ideas. And then you move into sustain, where you start to feel like you've found some repeatable processes. This is kind of working. I would like to do that, and then I'm going to grow. I'm going to scale this to other groups. I'm going to bring other people along. I'm going to make this a cross-functional initiative. Then we move into thrive, and this is where you really optimize. Processes and tech start to run smoothly. Things are starting to move fast. And alongside being energized, you start to adapt. You start to lead. Innovation becomes normal, the constant. And we set the pace. So that's our quick introduction to a customer maturity model when you're going through digital transformation and change that we're facing in today's crazy world. It starts with you. It starts here in London and online. I'd like to encourage everyone to enjoy today, make some connections, ask questions, dream big, help each other to reimagine possible. The real connections at ContentCon happen when you meet somebody you haven't already worked with or met before, and you exchange ideas, you learn from one another, and you walk away feeling energized. And so we want to help facilitate those connections, so please do participate throughout the day. Change management is a journey that we're on all the time, and the best way to succeed is to learn from one another. Welcome to the future of digital. With that, it is my great pleasure to introduce my friend and Contentstack CMO, Gurdeep Dhillon.
Thank you, Neha. What's up, London? Did you know I was born here? I said this last year on stage and nobody was impressed, so I'm saying it again. I was born here. I've been doing some research on the tube strike and I feel like they're on to something. Neha, I'm just gonna say it. I too would like a 32-hour work week. You guys with me? Should we do like a digital marketers and developer walkout next week? I don't know. Anyway, seriously though, thanks for making your way here today. I know it's crazy out there. I'm Gurdeep. I'm the CMO at Contentstack. Been here about a year and a half. Really excited to talk to you about the future of digital. Digital 2030 sounds super scary. We've been doing a lot of thinking about this. We've done some research. We've talked to experts. We collected predictions on the future of digital. And I can't help but laugh because we're all going to be wrong. Nobody can actually predict the future. It's fun to do, but we're going to be wrong. The one thing we know to be true is that in 5, maybe 6, 7 years, nothing's going to be the same. Nothing. But 5 years is too far. 1 year, nothing's going to be the same. And actually, who are we kidding? The pace of change right now feels like next week, nothing's going to be the same. It's crazy. I have never seen anything like this in my career. And I haven't talked to anybody lately who has. So it begs the question, and I guess my main point is this future that we talk about is now. It's not in the future. It's happening in real time. And so the question is, are you ready? We constantly are thinking, are we ready? How many of you right now in this moment feel like you personally are doing a good job of keeping up with the pace of change when it comes to AI? Yeah, not many hands up. My hand is not up. I'm struggling to keep up. And I think a lot of people, I think I saw like 2 hands, so congrats to those 2 of you. But the fact that you're here, the fact that you're in this room, tells me that you at least want to be ready. You and your companies, your brands that you represent. And that's a really good thing, because we want to help. So, we want to help you be ready for this future. A future where agents act on behalf of consumers and businesses and engage with digital experiences, sometimes even more than humans do. A future where customers demand hyper-personalization. A future where content actually is just data. Think about that for a second. Content is just data. And speaking of data, your ability to activate first-party data to put it to work for your business becomes a competitive advantage. So that's the future we need to be ready for. And we have conviction at Contentstack that in order to compete in this future, you as a brand need to deliver experiences that are what we call adaptive. So what's an adaptive experience? An adaptive experience, in short, is a dynamic in-the-moment connection between a brand and a customer. It's one that's powered by brand-aware AI, it's powered by real-time insights, and it's powered by automation. That's adaptive. But here's the rub. You can't be adaptive if you're not personal. And getting personal is really hard. Personalization is probably the buzziest buzzword of the last 15 years. And we've all tried it, and we've all failed. It doesn't work. Why is that? Well, I'd like to propose that that's because it's broken. It's been doomed to fail. personalization has been doomed to fail. So this is where it gets really interesting. Everybody in this room, everybody online, everybody in the industry, Contentstack included, we have been chasing the right problem, a very worthy problem, and that problem is personalization at scale. We've all been after it. The problem is we've been looking at the wrong solutions to that problem. So I say this is our matrix moment. Take the red pill or the blue pill. It's your choice. If you take the red pill, we promise to show you a better way, a new way to do personalization at scale. If you take the blue pill, you'll just remain blissfully unaware that you're doing it wrong. And that's fine. Because if you do take that blue pill, that means you are committing to a personalization strategy that I call rules-based. So rules-based basically means if-then statements to power a personalized experience. So if visitor is from the US, change S's to Z's. It's an example of an if-then. So that works fine, but it doesn't scale. Because you're limited by two things. The first thing you're limited by is human capacity to create those rules. How many if-then statements can humans come up with? And then the second thing you're limited by is human capacity to create content. Now, AI helps with both of these things, but it doesn't get you all the way there. But we all know you want to take the red pill, right? Yes? Okay, good. Because that's where it gets fun, because that's when we start talking about something new, something different. And this is what we're calling reasoning-based personalization. Reasoning-based is limitless. It's limitless because it combines explicit and implicit behaviors, actions, and data to infer intent. Intent is the key. When you have intent, whether somebody is anonymous or known, you can then alter their experience in real time. This is how we will get to n equals 1, an audience of 1. No more segmentation. It's reasoning-based personalization. So how do you unlock it? How do you get to reasoning-based? You need two things. The first thing you need is context. If content is king, we say context is queen, and we all know who runs the show, right? This is the dictionary definition of context. The circumstances that form the setting for an event, statement, or idea, and in terms of which it can be fully understood. Cool. Our definition right now, for the purpose of what we're talking about, is this. Context is the new digital currency for brands that need to stay relevant. Context is what makes AI better. Context gives meaning to content and data. It's really important. It's the most important factor in everything that we're talking about here. And there's no going back. There's before this and there's after this. This is the new battleground. This is what we call the context economy. And the context economy is a world where value is created not by the content your brand publishes or the experiences you create even, but rather by how intelligently you adapt to your audience and your audience of 1. So we saw this coming a year ago, and we acquired a company called Lytics, real-time CDP. And we've been hard at work integrating Lytics into the Contentstack Edge platform. And a couple months ago in Chicago, we unveiled Contentstack Data and Insights. And this was a huge step forward towards adaptive digital experiences because we could now start to build profiles from anonymous to known of our digital audiences for the purpose of activating that data for personalization. So that was how we solve for context. But the second thing you need is scale. And scale is finally possible because of generative AI and agents. This is a game changer for how we work, whether you're a marketer or a developer. It's a game changer. We will never work the same in a content management system or a digital experience platform. It was quite a fortuitous investment we made years ago when we built our automation product called Automate. And the reason for that is because some of you in this room even were using that technology to build agents before they were even called agents, using AI, of course. Well, today, we're building on that foundation that we already had. And we believe we have the most compelling, pragmatic, and I would say most importantly, real agentic operating system in the digital experience space. Today, we announce Agent OS. Agent OS is that operating system. It's that foundation for context and brand-aware agentic experiences. And this is what powers adaptive. This is what unlocks reasoning. There's some examples here. So Agent OS includes a couple things. It includes agents, of course, 3 types, and I'll talk about them in a second. It includes advanced automations, including integration and connectors. And it includes our brand kit solution. So retrieval augmentation, brand-aware generative AI. The 3 types of agents you're going to see in Agent OS start from the left. Polaris. Polaris is the name of the North Star. And it's going to be your North Star in the Contentstack app. It's going to be your best friend. It's going to make every user of Contentstack a super user. This is a pervasive in-app agent that you can ask questions to. It will run tasks for you. It can invoke other agents. You're going to hear a lot more about it, and you're going to see it in action today. So we're really excited about Polaris. I'll jump to the right side. Also a conversational agent, but we're calling it the Digital Concierge. And this is an agent that you as a brand will be able to serve up to your customers on your digital experience or your digital property that they can then interact with. It will then be able to infer intent. It will populate the data and insights profile with more and more data. And the really cool part is it can change the experience in real time. Reasoning-based personalization. The human doesn't have to set the rules, the if-then. The customer speaks to the agent or clicks around and does stuff. The agent infers what they're interested in and creates that experience in real time. That's what we mean by reasoning. And that's what the Digital Concierge will do. And then in the middle, custom agents. We want all of you to be able to build your own. You can build them from scratch, or you can use pre-built templates that we will provide. But the ability to leverage Agent OS as a foundation for building new agents is really powerful. And for our partners in the room, we want to expand the ecosystem and have agent-to-agent connections outside of Contentstack. Okay, so that's a lot. You're going to hear a lot more about it from from the guys that are way more technical than me, but I wanted to make sure you have the overview of what Agent OS is. Our AI journey, I think it's been a natural progression from building the automation layer to understanding the importance of generative AI and adding the AI assistant into the content editing experience. Layering on top of that connectors, and most importantly, brand kit to make sure that the content is brand aware. And then it all comes together today with Agent OS. Agent OS is going to be available later this year. We've got select customers in early access. If you believe that your company is one of those that should be an early adopter, come talk to us at the booth and we'll chat about it. But this will be available later this year. Okay, so to summarize, when you solve for content, you unlock scale. When you solve for data, you unlock context. When you combine those two things, you now can do reasoning. And when you get to that point where the system can do reasoning, that is when the digital experience can become adaptive. That's what needs to be true. Otherwise, it won't truly be adaptive. Okay, so that's a lot. You're probably thinking, well, where do we start? How do we do this? Well, the good news is, this is why we built Contentstack Edge the way we built it. You can start anywhere you want. You can modernize your CMS. You can do web personalization, single channel, or you can go full omni-channel digital experience platform with personalization at scale. If you are a prospective customer of Contentstack, I assure you we are the last DXP you will ever have to buy. And if you are a current customer of Contentstack, I assure you you are not getting the full value of our platform unless you work on a plan to get to adaptive. And we want to help you do that. You deserve it, and your customers deserve it. This is a new era for digital excellence. The gap between the brands that win and the brands that lose is going to be defined by those brands' ability to deliver adaptive digital experiences. We have really strong conviction about that across industries, B2B and B2C. Again, we have been chasing the wrong solutions for the right problem. It's nobody's fault. It just wasn't technically possible. That ends today.